Chat. I love the ocean, the deep blue sea, but this fish is kind of scary. This fish is kind of scary. So, let's learn about him. Let's learn about him. Who's this? Casual Geographic. All right, let's see. Whoa! Is that real? Are these
the
eels?
greatest trick Hollywood ever pulled was convincing the world that sharks are the only things to fear in the water. There be monsters. In the last video, we talked about how sharks might just be the most misunderstood creatures in nature, with a PR team that works about as hard as a whiteout's brain after 6 rounds of CTE. They've been done so dirty, they've actually overshadowed the other ichthyological insanity spawned from Satan's septic tank. These are 7 fish that should honestly terrify you more than any shark. This isn't really to substitute one fear for another, but I do think these fish can make a much more traumatizing, nightmare-inducing horror flick than Jaws. And it starts right here. Those eyes belong to a pair of arapaimas, also known as a pirarucu. You've definitely seen them before. Does this video ring a bell?
Can you eat them?
It definitely rang his.
Shit.
It's one of the biggest freshwater middle fingers nature forgot to vault, usually growing to over 6 feet long and 200-something pounds. It's bad enough those are NBA point guard measurements, but the beefiest ones can get to 10 feet in length and weigh over 400 pounds. This Jurassic roid guppy usually eats other fish to go with fruits and seeds, but also birds and allegedly even monkeys sitting on branches too close to water. And if you don't believe that, it's because you haven't seen them hunt. They're explosively quick, and the aquatic black hole has been known to confuse feet for fish and violently pull people underwater. One zookeeper reportedly made the mistake of trying to retrieve a glove that had fallen into an arapaima pool, and in a split second got his hand, wrist, and several fingers broken. There's also the fact that a refrigerator-sized fish will yeet themselves out of water in self-defense. And let's talk about that defense. The plus-size bite jay is covered in heavily armored scales, not only tough enough to tank piranha attacks, locals historically use them as nail files. They've also used their tongues as scrapers, since these fish have teeth growing out of a bony tongue that can be used to effectively crush struggling prey against the roof of their mouths. You know nature got in its bag when it made a fish that can breathe air, and the Antichrist of the Amazon has a modified swim bladder that was repurposed as lungs, meaning this flex of a fish can survive 24 hours out of water. On one hand, that means they have to come up for air every 20 minutes or suffer the eternal shame of being a fish that finds a way to drown. But it also works out for them because in low oxygen water where most fish become slow and sluggish, the air merchant menace can pretty much go on a killing spree.
They're huge.
Now,
they're
the question
armored
is,
fish?
could an arapaima pack up a person?
Yo, it's
While
like
there's
a
no
Kuma
indication
from
they see us
GTA.
as a snack, there are old stories of high-strung assault guppies effectively drowning people.
They're
likely
huge,
by knocking them
bro.
unconscious and leaving them incapacitated underwater. Not him, he's fine. You can unclench guidelines, he's good. But one man that almost wasn't was Jeremy Wade. He probably needs no introduction, but long story short, he's a zoologist who hosted the show River Monsters, which ended, but only because he caught every fish nature had to offer. But he almost caught an early life retirement after a pissed off paima struck him square in the chest and nearly caused irreversible damage to his heart. Not only did this fish nearly have us singing,
I've never seen this show. Was it scary,
the
guys?
suspect wasn't more than 90 pounds. Remember, the overachievers can press the scales at 400 or, 180 kilograms worth of killing.
Yo, they have
so
like
yeah,
3
the arapaima
people
was a
doing
shack-sized, air-breathing, armor-plated predatory vacuum, and strangely enough, it's not the fish I'm most scared of in the Amazon. But we'll get to that. The piranha actually isn't.
Piranha!
You remember from an earlier video, piranhas might be just as misunderstood as sharks. They're mostly just scavenging opportunists that our childhoods convinced us were way more of an issue. You cannot say the same for their cousins found in the Congo basin of Central Africa.
Wait, I'm still processing that first fish. Dude, that fish was huge. That was huge. Took 3 people, 3 grown men to carry that shit. Dude. I know I asked a weird question, but we probably can't eat that, right? Look, I eat fish. I eat fish. You can feed a whole family, a whole village with that fish. It was huge. You can? People eat that? Have I heard of a Komodo dragon? Yes. There's another one. It gets even bigger than that. Oh my gosh, I wonder if it's in this video. Oh, sorry, Dougie. Even bigger ones? Oh, shit.
The Goliath tigerfish can grow to nearly 5 feet long, over 100 pounds, and they're what people were told piranhas are times 10. They're in the same order, but where piranhas are primarily a swimming cleanup crew, Tigerfish actively hunt for their bodies, and you'll find out
how
nature
big?
found in the Congo basin of Central Africa. The Goliath tigerfish can grow to nearly 5 feet long, over 100 pounds, and they're what people were told piranhas are times 10. They're in the same order, but where piranhas are primarily a swimming cleanup crew, tigerfish actively hunt for their bodies. And you'll find out nature built this prehistoric problem to do exactly that. They have sharp dagger-like teeth that many swear are comparable to that of a great white. Although I personally see them as more conical, like a crocodile, which is a coincidence since the saltwater variety are their only natural predators. But of course, the swimming expletive has also been known to murk smaller crocs. They have eerily strong eyesight to track prey, special organs to detect the vibrations they make underwater, and they're strong enough to brute force their way through the turbulent waters of their hunting grounds. They're considered one of the toughest freshwater fish time left behind, and tigerfish are even on record snatching birds out of the air. Not just birds, but swallows. Some of these
Wait. Let's see if I can time it.
Freshwater fish time left behind, and tigerfish are even on record snatching birds out of the air. Not just birds, but swallows. Some of the fastest and most maneuverable out there. Scientists studying them watched as 300 birds got permanently grounded by tigerfish in just over 2 weeks. They're so feared that in many places they're only known by one name, Benga, meaning the dangerous fish. There's even a story of a young girl wearing a belt made out of bottle caps in order to ward off evil spirits. Ironically, it did the exact opposite and attracted a tigerfish who apparently confused the bottle caps for fish scales and nearly bisected the girl. Allegedly, it's an extremely fast, explosive vice grip with almost zero prey prejudice. And I'd still rather take a bite from them than the fish up next. And that's cause next is the candiru. And a lot of y'all already know what road we're going down. The candiru is a tiny parasite in the Amazon, also nicknamed the vampire fish for their habit of invading the gills of larger fish and scraping the insides to feed off their blood. And with backward-facing spines and a powerful bite, it's nearly impossible to shake it off before it completes its liquid transaction. The horror comes from the legend of candiru being attracted to the chemicals in urine and swimming up the urethra of unlucky humans and getting stuck up there. A fate that takes surgery to reverse. Imagine a serrated, sentient toothpick in your bathing suit business, and you'll see why the violation with gills is so feared. How much of this is even real? Most of the reports of people getting penetrated by peenfish are really sus at best. Apparently, they're not even attracted to the ammonia in human urine in the first place. There's a good chance that the candiru controversy came from European settlers coming home from long expeditions and telling these long, exaggerated stories to anyone who'd listen for status and attention. Yeah, but basically they were probably lying for clout. You have to remember, the whole piranha skinning a cow thing spawned from locals staging an event to impress the president. The truth is, your chances of peeing in the Amazon and getting frontal probed by a fish are about as much as you getting meal prepped by a shark or getting struck by lightning. Oh, my bad. And getting struck by lightning. That being said, I'd rather get tag teamed by the pets of Poseidon and the forces of Zeus than have a bloodluster up my urethra, no Franklin. If the odds ain't zero, they're just too high for me. But I'll happily take a candiru to the mandiru, then run into aquatic op number 4. In fact, I'm so afraid of it, I actually had to break my own rule for this video. The Humboldt squid obviously isn't a fish, but it's the closest thing to a living nightmare on this list. Let's be clear, at 5 feet, about 100 pounds, there are bigger squid.
Can I skip this part? I don't like anything with tentacles. They creep me out. They creep me out, chat. They creep me out. That was tall! That was as tall as a dude! Wait.
He isn't a fish, but it's the closest thing to a living nightmare on this list. Let's be
5 feet!
clear. At 5 feet, about a...
It's so tall! It's so big! What the fuck? I don't even... I'm not gonna say it because you guys are gonna make fun of me. I stay away from the deepest part of the pool.
100 pounds. There are bigger squid. What sets Humboldt's apart is they can hunt in packs of over 1,000.
Packs? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's 3 zeros like a Tony Snell stat line.
I'm not shorter than 5 feet.
There are old fisherman tales of men falling overboard, getting swarmed, and never
I didn't know
coming
they get this
back
big.
up. There's also stories of them fiercely approaching divers before flipping and trying to rip their masks off. But who needs stories when marine
Veg,
biologist Alex Kirstich can tell you about the time several homicidal squids grabbed him and attempted to drag him down into the dark maw
I
of
really
the
don't like
abyss.
squid.
It gets
I
worse
don't
when
like
you
eating them
realize
either.
what exactly
Unless
happens
they're
when
like,
a red devil decides to take you to
fried
hell.
calamari,
Humboldts
even
aren't
then
just
I don't
highly
like it.
intelligent, they're covered in tiny red chromatophores that they can use to rapidly change color in order to communicate with each other. It's like Morse
also
code
hate
but
you,
for
Angel.
cripping calamari. We don't know exactly what it means,
Oh,
but there's a
okay.
good chance if a Humboldt confronts you and starts violently flashing red, it could be telling a
call it
bunch
a
of
Humboldt?
others you can't see that you're free eats. So likely the last thing you'll see is pulsing red before you get eaten alive. It doesn't help that
That
satanic
thing can eat
cephalopods
you
are known
alive.
for speed
Fuck
eating
that.
and are
Fuck
notorious
that.
for stripping
No.
fish to the bones faster than fishermen can reel them. Add a beak that can easily slice flesh,
You know,
and
I
a
wanted
bite
to
force that
try
can reportedly
Subnautica,
crack
but
bone.
no,
And I think you
I'm
see
gonna be
why
too
I'm not
scared.
exaggerating when I say I'll deal with every other fish on this list than a pack of predatory color coordinating squid. And I don't care what logic says, there's no doubt in my mind this squid would eat a human if they thought they could. Why? Humboldt squid only live about a year. That rapid growth in a short time means they'll rarely pass up an easy meal, even if it's their own kind. Humboldts are highly cannibalistic, and they will
carnivorous.
not hesitate to turn on a weak or injured member of their
the-
own
like-
hunting party. There was a study done off the coast of Chile that found that
is that
out
what
of
it
over
is? Like, eating your
2,000
own
squid,
kind is
more than
cannibalistic?
half held the remains of their own kind in their stomachs. It sounds to me that anything they see as weaker than
I don't
them
think
is
about
something they can feed off, and the only saving grace for us
please
is
skip this
they
part,
usually
hurry
only
up.
press things smaller than they are. But you don't even have to be seen as food for affiliated squids to be a problem. Like a true xenophobic, they react to most things they don't understand with aggression, and they've even attacked cameras and equipment and left them out of order. But to me, the most disturbing aspect of getting assaulted by squids
starfish
is,
look
even if
kinda
you
like that to
escape,
me.
if you panic and surface too fast, you can get the bends and past tense anyway. That type of psychological horror is what puts the Humboldt here, and wouldn't you know, emotional damage is another symptom of finding out about the next fish. Because now we got the stonefish. Not one of, but
Stonefish.
the most venomous fish known to man. It's
I
armed
know
with
this one.
toxin, and symptoms of getting stung include crippling pain, shock, tissue death, and even paralysis. And speaking of pain, you can be in agony for over 12 hours, and it's enough of an
You
eternal
know that they're,
jihad
like,
to cause
harvesting this
hallucinations. Anecdotally, there have been tourists who've stepped on a stonefish only to beg their doctors to chop off the whole foot. Then there's the added threat of, if you don't get out of the water quick enough, it won't even be the venom. You can get paralyzed and catch a stage fatality to drowning. Even if you survive, you can still suffer permanent nerve damage and severe muscle atrophy.
Oh
But
my
that all wouldn't
God.
even be that bad if the stonefish wasn't nature's manifestation of a
Well, yeah, they're definitely harvesting them for like medication and stuff, and also probably to find like, you know, what do you call those? Anti-venom. But you know that like, I'm pretty sure like deep down somewhere they're using it for like weapons and stuff to subdue opponents. Well, what if it's the answer to like, well, what if it's like truth serum, you know, and it has components in there? I don't know anything. I like sci-fi stuff, but yeah, I don't get time to antitoxin. There, antitoxin. Yeah. Weapons? Nah. What do you mean? Thank you, chat. Thank you for elaborating. It's been a while. I know there's a difference between poisonous and venomous. What's the difference again? My chat's so smart, right?
dick move. The most venomous animals on the planet usually dress with bright colors to warn the rest of the population.
Poisonous, you gotta
that they're
eat it, and then
packing.
like venomous
Stonefish
is
decided
what?
to do exactly none of that, and instead cosplays as a stone, only to mortally punish you for its camouflage working. Like I said, it's like having invisibility, but also serving a death penalty every time someone steps on your foot.
This is why I
Then
don't
you gotta
wanna,
add
nope,
the fact that there are another
nope,
fish that can survive 24
walking
hours out of the
barefooted,
water,
not
and they
for
have
me,
a
man.
literal switchblade growing out of their forehead. Yeah, I knew they were a problem ever since one nearly perma-napped Nigel Thornberry. A stone-cloaking toxic minefield of misery, but with stonefish anti-venom being the
Ooh, that
second
was so
most administered
fast.
in Australia, today if you get stung, your chances of surviving are actually pretty good.
bro's
Not
just
like the
holding
next
it
fish,
like a
'cause for this
fucking
one, there
conch
is no
shell.
antidote. The stonefish might be the most venomous fish, but the pufferfish is arguably the most poisonous thing alive. Quick rule of thumb on the difference: if it bites you and you die, it's venomous. If you
Okay,
bite
there he
it
goes, he
and you
tells
become
us.
a was, it's poisonous. And few things are more poisonous than puffer tetrodotoxin, which is 1,200 times more of a death sentence than
Damn,
cyanide.
I didn't know.
Tetrodotoxin interferes with signals between nerves and muscles, causing muscle paralysis and a total shutdown. And of course, the fugu blowfish is considered a delicacy, but if
Yeah,
the
it's
chef misses a
delicacy,
single
like-
cut even by a little, you're instantly on the clock. You won't know that happened until your face goes
Fuck.
numb and your lips and tongue get this weird prickly feeling.
No. Why did I show this clip of Speed, bro? What the fuck? What was he doing here?
Then you'd
What
suddenly
the
get a
fuck?
splitting headache and dizziness to go at vomiting and diarrhea as your body desperately tries to purge the poison. But it's already too late and you'd start getting paralyzed,
Yeah,
starting with the
wait,
hands
wait.
and
Would you guys ever try pufferfish? It's a delicacy. Like, it might be like the best thing you've ever eaten, but like the last thing you've ever eaten. That's so scary. That's scary. Yeah, there's a reason why sushi chefs need to be licensed in order to serve fugu. Oh my god, yeah. Even regular fish can kill you. Oh no, Coconino. You almost stepped on one? What the fuck, Butters? And you lived. You lived to tell the tale. You almost stepped on one. You know, but guys, pufferfish are kind of cute. They're kind of cute though. They're kind of cute. Like, I know when they blow up, it's because they're scared and it's like your defense mechanism and stuff. But they're kind of cute though. I would keep one as a pet if I could, but I wouldn't be able to maintain it. But they're kind of cute. It's cute.
feet, but slowly spreading out, and by this point, you likely can't even call for help. Finally, it'd get harder and harder to breathe until you notice the room slowly fade to black, leading to either a coma, seizure, or just death. The permanent kind. Tetrodotoxin essentially flips a kill switch in your body, and there is no antidote. The only treatment is hooking you up to a respirator to breathe for you and praying it passes. The poison puffball is such a problem, it makes you forget they also have teeth that can bite clean through your finger.
Yeah, they got teeth.
In fact, it's more than enough to violate a scorpion.
Look, they're
And I don't even know how to
kinda
describe
cute,
what they do
though.
to crabs, turning crustacean into crustacean with a smile no less. It's criminal. There's nothing funny about getting caught in that bite, with reports of pufferfish
that one's kinda
mutilating the
derpy.
genitals of men, and one case in 2008 where a Cambodian child had
Genitals of.
his coin purse sliced in half by a pufferfish. And unlike the kangaroo, this ain't a myth. Have your privates
Oh my
out by a puffer and you
God.
might just get... So that's 6 of the sinister
I've
7.
seen that
But before we
clip.
get to the last one, we got
what's
honorable
the last
mentions. The fact that there's a fish that
they're all
weaponized
notes.
electricity enough to decommission a caiman and we just accept that is kinda crazy. And the thing is, it might not even be the voltage, but it's getting knocked out in shallow water that'll get you. Swordfish are one of the fastest things in the sea. They also have a
Swordfish?
built-in melee weapon equipped capable of inflicting life-altering harm. In 2015, a Hawaiian man was
Oh,
fatally
shit.
struck in the chest while trying to catch one. Another man in Malaysia bled to death after a swordfish yeeted itself out of the water and also RNG'd him in the chest. Swordfish are also on record shanking sharks and even bleeding out sea turtles. The sheep's head fish.
Yo, what the fuck
Really
is
only
this?
because
That's
that-
just not real. Is this real? Is his teeth real? Oh, what the? Oh, what the fuck? Sorry. Is this real? Is this real? Their teeth actually look like that? It's fucking ew, like. What the fuck? Bro, their teeth, dude. And all these little things here, they're teeth too, right? Me and my brother went to the beach. Was in Mexico and I was running. Ow! What the fuck? Huh? Oh, hey, God, hey, welcome in, guys. Welcome, greetings. Happy Friday.
Count threaded
Happy
with
to have
68
you here.
viewers.
My name is SaiminIV, and we're currently watching some spooky stuff. We're watching some scary stuff. We're reacting to things that chat shares in our Discord channel. So if you're interested in sharing something spooky, we watched some really, really cool stuff recently. So if you guys are interested in sharing some stuff, join our Discord channel at discord.gg/ChaldeaGurus. Then go down to GG Show on Stream, and there's going to be a post called Spooky to Show on Stream. And you'll see a bunch of us posting shit there. And we're watching it here. But yeah, thank you, Kadroth, for sharing your lovely community with me. How's your stream? What'd you do? Welcome in. Triggerfish? We still have more, apparently. Yeah, welcome. Platypus are not the only weird dude, there's so many like fish I didn't even know existed, dude. My gosh. But yeah, welcome in, Raiders. If you haven't already, please go get something to eat, something to drink. I know a stream's gonna be quite long. Thank you again, Kadroth. If you do have to raid and run, totally understandable. But if you all want to hang around here and chill and watch some spooky time stuff, you are more than welcome to chill here. Yeah, spooky for October. Spooky. I'm in the mood for a lot of like spooky stuff. I've been watching a lot of scary movies. I'm almost done watching playthroughs of the Walking Dead games. I was going to stream it, but it's, I didn't think anyone would like to watch it, and I got kind of hooked watching someone else play it, so there was no commentary. Yeah, we're gonna watch Shiki meeting Arcuid. Someone shared it in the chat, so if you guys want to watch that, you made just in time. Yeah, babies, make room for the Raiders. Huge fan. You loved it. The Walking Dead series. Yeah, so I get choice paralysis. That's why I don't really play games like those. I played Until Dawn on stream. I think I played some other games too. And I keep getting choice paralysis. And I think that's what makes it interesting. The quick time event stuff, I get scared to miss those. 4 minutes of spooky time fish. Yeah, let's go back. Oh, Tab Velocity. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. Happy to have you here. Thank you. Ivy, you haven't seen The Thing, right? Wait, what thing? Are you talking about Marvel Rivals? Are you talking about that? Oh, let's go watch it.
Now, stripophobics be damned. The Titan triggerfish is a highly aggressive honey badger with gills, capable of dishing out severe injuries with the same teeth they use for crunching coral, sea urchins, and even a crown of thorns starfish. The trigger might as well be named after their temper, and this 1.5-foot vibe check is a big reason why beginner divers never go back in the water. Speaking of big, the Goliath grouper. At 8 feet up to 800 pounds, the fish the size of a small car feels more like a leftover Jurassic prop. Lucky for us, most divers describe it as a gentle giant with the temperament of a St. Bernard. Although a St. Bernard didn't allegedly swallow an entire kid in the Florida Keys.
What?
Allegedly. But since we're on the subject, the last fish on this list are catfish. And yeah,
really?
It's kind of cheating. There's over 3,000 species of catfish, even including the genital jihad, the candiru. Catfish are like the trash compactors of the fish family, which isn't a problem until you see just how big they can really get. And once a catfish gets big enough, there aren't a lot of things alive they won't try to eat. We've seen armadillos, turtles, and even unaware seagulls get bored by a catfish. There's a species in France that figured out how to stalk and hunt bathing city pigeons.
I've never
Another
seen
learned to
catfish
wait by
that
cave
huge.
entrances to suck up any exhausted bats that fall in. There was even a catfish nicknamed Kuno the Killer who terrorized a German lake and somehow caught and ate someone's dog. Basically, they're all the shit I've talked about pelicans being, just in fish form. The question is, if a catfish has ever eaten a live human, and it isn't even if they would, but if they could. The Wells catfish can grow to 10 feet long and cap
There are
out
different
at
kinds of
300
catfish?
pounds.
I didn't
The
know.
Macomb catfish can also get to 10 feet,
I didn't
and
know.
the heaviest one ever recorded was pushing 650.
Holy fuck, dude. Like the whole arm you guys can see this, but my arms like whole arms spread out like that. Holy shit. Oh, I remember learning this before, but apparently if you spread your arms out like really like far wide, apparently the entire arm span equates to your height. I don't know if that's true. Is it true for you? But dude, I've never seen catfish that huge. Like, I've gone fishing quite a few times, and catching catfish is actually quite fun. They fight back, and they fight hard, dude. It's really fun to fish for them. But I didn't know they get this huge. Yeah, are they edible? Because they can feed a whole city with that catfish.
Pounds. If there's a catfish that could stomach a human, it should be
What the fuck? It's 2 foot arms. You shut up.
one of these, but there's a slightly smaller catfish that was believed to be a legit man-eater. In the late 90s and early 2000s, a series of fatal attacks on people in the Gully River had people convinced there was something in the water hunting humans.
Something
In
in the
these attacks,
water.
victims were suddenly pulled underwater in front of people, only for their bodies to never be recovered. In 2007, Atal Kumar was swimming with friends when he was violently dragged underwater, and while he was never seen again, friends caught a glimpse of something that they could only describe as an elongated pig. Crocs and bull sharks were considered, but the prime suspect ended up being the goonch. At about over 6 feet,
The what?
200 pounds, the goonch is usually smaller than the whales or the mekong, but it's feared that the practice of burning funeral pyres by the river led to the equal opportunists developing a taste for human flesh. And while it's a stretch to say a corpse-happy catfish could swallow an adult, it becomes a little less believable with children. There's no solid proof of a catfish catching a person, but they for sure can off one. The biggest ones can easily overpower you, if not just knock you out and drown you.
800
Not to mention a
pounds on the
majority
other one,
are
though.
venomous, with those spines putting both experienced fishermen and oblivious bystanders in the
Those are
hospital.
venomous?
They also have a nasty sandpaper-like bite that can easily draw
Look
blood.
at it.
But what really
Ugh, that like latches onto you. Ooh. Hey, chat. Question: would you kiss those?
makes them a living horror movie.
I'm shit posting.
is their intelligence. The ones packing up
Don't
pigeons,
answer
they
that, I don't
weren't
know.
always doing
I
that. But they
wouldn't.
pretty much
I
ate
wouldn't,
everything
bro.
else around them and were forced to adjust. So it's anyone's guess what could happen if they gain a taste for humans. And with catfish being swimming tongues with over 175,000 taste buds across their bodies, yeah, I doubt acquiring taste.
I'm so glad that
But yeah,
we're
that's
in
gonna do it
that.
for this
No one heard
video.
that.
Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, try not to get catfished out here. If you'd like to see me swim with slightly less freaky fish, the full
Wait, no. It's because. Okay, look. I'm gonna tell a little personal story, but no, never mind. It's revealing. Never mind.
GoPro footage of me in Hawaii will be uploaded to my
I don't have any
Patreon.
personal stories.
And with
I'm
that
too
last
gay
second
anime
self-promo
girl.
out the way, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
What the fuck?
You blowing her bubbles?
He's like holding it like a baby, dude. Like a puppy. Like That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. That was a great video. I'm gonna go ahead and it was really entertaining, so I'm gonna subscribe. Guys, like this video, okay? Like that video. Send them some love. Great work. That was entertaining as hell. Let's go. More good videos like that. More good videos. Let's keep it going.